Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope that you're all doing well and having a great day. To start things off, Credit Suisse's latest estimates indicate that for the first time, the richest 1% own 50.1% of all global wealth, a proportion that's likely to move the richest 1% owning 2/3 of global wealth by 2030. Think about that. Projections in a report by the UK Parliament show that the world's wealthiest individuals, the top 1%, will own 64% of global wealth by 2030. Since 2008, the wealth of the richest 1% has been growing at an average of 6% a year, much faster than the 3% growth in wealth of the remaining 99% of the population. Should that continue, the top 1% would hold wealth equating to $305 trillion, up from $140 trillion today. I was watching a documentary about this a couple days ago. See, if this is what it's going to be in 12 years from now, we are in 2018, 64%. They were saying that by the year 2050, I believe it was, they'll own almost 80% of the world's total wealth. And to put that into perspective, just imagine what it will be in 2060 and 2070. So this is why I am a firm believer in investing and teaching your kids about investing and making sure that you are secure for the future, because it is not going to be a bright future for everyone. So they start getting into exactly how many people have become rich from cryptocurrencies. And in particular for this article, it's about Bitcoin, because we've heard a lot of people talking about the Bitcoin rich and how Bitcoin millionaires and how rich these people are. So estimates right now, they assume that between 20 to 200,000 people on this planet have become millionaires just from Bitcoin alone. And I actually think it's probably closer to somewhere around 200,000 people, simply because of how much it has risen. There's been tons of stories about people who got into it when it was around $50 and they bought a couple of them and now they are completely rich. What's more is that the ultra rich are starting to get into Bitcoin investment themselves. Yesterday, Bitcoiners reported how the Rockefeller family is placing a multi-million-dollar bet on the bright future of cryptocurrency, following the footsteps of George Soros and the Liechtenstein Crown Prince, just to name a few. Like I always say, why would these people be getting into the market as everything is going down? Because they have a way to profit from it. This could mean that 2,000 of the world's wealthiest 1% made at least part of their wealth from Bitcoin, given that the price of Bitcoin could rise significantly by 2030, creating more wealth and more Bitcoin millionaires. Bitcoin owners could be a significant statistic in the volume of individual controlling 2/3 of the planet's wealth. The three biggest Bitcoin wallets contain over 99,974 Bitcoin. Think about that. There are people who don't even have one full Bitcoin, and this is within a couple of wallets. Even at today's low price of $6,700, the three wallets are worth between $677 billion and $1.2 billion US each. In comparison, the world's richest individual, Jeff Bezos, is currently valued at $112 billion US. And not to forget about the Winklevoss twins, who got into the crypto game very early, and I think they got Bitcoin when it was around $1 or something like that. They own a couple 100,000. So not to drag on, but one of my very first videos was literally about why you should get into Bitcoin, because rich people are into it. And a lot of people made fun of me and they were like, oh, that's ridiculous. You know, rich people don't really know that much. They know how, I don't want to say to manipulate the market, but they do. But they know exactly what's going to happen, and they know how to make things work in their favor. This is why I firmly believe in the future of cryptocurrencies, because all of these rich people do, and they're definitely going to make sure that this trend, cryptocurrency market, whatever you want to call it, lasts well beyond 2030, because they're going to want to become as rich as possible. So moving on, still focusing on the Winklevoss twins. Cryptocurrency exchange Gemini said Monday that it will roll out block trading for Bitcoin and Ether starting later this week. The feature, which will allow customers to make high volume trades that won't appear in the exchange's order book until they've been filled, will go live at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday. Gemini explained in a blog post, there's a minimum threshold of 10 Bitcoin or 100 Ether for the block. That's a lot of money, thinking about that, for the block trades, meaning that smaller trades won't be able to use the feature. Gemini has positioned the block trading edition as a way to create an additional mechanism to secure liquidity when trading in greater size. This is yet another thing that I think is significant. We've heard so many times, I know I've said this a couple other videos as well, every single higher up continuously says that the end of April, the beginning of May will be the time when the market kind of rebounds and begins to shoot back up. And we've only heard news over the past 2 weeks, if you look back at my other videos, of these higher ups and all of these exchanges talking about rolling all these new things out. What Coinbase has been rolling out, what Gemini has been rolling out, all these other exchanges that are launching, that have launched at the beginning of April or the end of March, preparing for May. I do not know if prices will go back up, but it seems fishy, if you want to call it that so many things are happening rapidly. They're preparing for high volume trades. Why would they be doing this a couple of weeks before everyone is continuously saying that the market is going to go back up? Why would all these rich people be getting or declaring that they're getting into the cryptocurrency market as we get closer to regulations? All the writing is on the wall. This is my feeling around it, at least. And on the same exact idea, the ICE chief, almost said chef, says we cannot ignore Bitcoin trading as institutional investors prepare to officially enter the cryptocurrency market. The New York Stock Exchange may soon list Bitcoin futures contracts, amongst other things that I've been reading around. Earlier this week, the New York Stock Exchange parent company, the Intercontinental Exchange Inc., agreed to acquire the 163-year-old Chicago Stock Exchange. Now the financial institution may have its eyes set on Bitcoin. As reported by Bloomberg, Intercontinental Exchange Inc. has indicated that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency future contracts are most certainly not out of the question, said the chief executive officer, Jerry Sprecher. He told Bloomberg's TV, "This is the trend. There's a trend here that we cannot ignore in my mind, so I don't discount it. People put more faith in a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto that no one has ever met than they do in the US Fed, and that is 1000% true." When they ask young people, why are they getting into cryptocurrencies? It's because they do not trust governments, not even just the US government. They do not trust governments in general. So it's funny that we've entered into a world where people, not even young people, people in general trust a protocol more than they do other humans, because the protocol itself cannot lie. People are more comfortable in technology than the institutions of government and society that I grew up with. A lot of people do not care for the futures market, especially if it's going to end up controlling the price in some way that other people have said that it has controlled the price. But this is still yet another way that we validate cryptocurrencies and get more people to go into the actual cryptocurrency market. Only time will tell if this is good or bad for the market. I think for the most part, I think it will begin to bring the market up and kind of stabilize it, if you will. Last up, Adrian Lai, who is the founding partner of Hong Kong-based crypto investment from Oracle Partners, has forecast that in 2018, the crypto market will mature and increase in trading volume, particularly among institutional investors. The South China Morning Post reported April 9th. I almost said Chicago. Lai characterized both last year's eye-popping market cap growth, reaching an all-time high of over $800 billion. This is why when people say that we can't hit $1 trillion this year, I'm like, I think you're crazy, because we were very close to hitting it just a couple of months ago. By early January, and his subsequent first quarter spiraled to 256 million, where we are now. As of today, April 9th, as irrational. He attributed this staggering volatility to a lack of regulatory oversight and institutional investment, but struck a decisively optimistic tone about the future, saying that regulators are not banning the development of cryptocurrencies, but are trying to better regulate the market, which should help the industry mature. If the regulatory stance gets clearer, large funds will be more assured and willing to commit significant capital, and this is 1000% true. All of this seems to be happening in sequence, if you will. All the stuff about when we're going to get the rules for crypto trading, when we're going to get stuff from the SEC, when all these companies and families and all these other things are moving into cryptocurrencies, and they all seem to be extremely bullish and optimistic about the market, even though normal people have completely dropped out. I've had so many friends and family members who have jumped into the cryptocurrency market, and now they're almost all gone, have pulled their money out because they have lost faith. Even though all of this crazy stuff is happening, when all these people kind of get together and they're constantly releasing news about how they believe, even after all the losses, 2018 is going to be a significant year, this kind of means something. And I'm glad that someone else has said that this entire thing is irrational. I don't understand why so many people dropped out of the market because of regulations. It couldn't have gone on forever. No one can make $1.5 million a year without the government kind of pointing at you and saying, hey, you need to give us some of that as well. That's just not how it works. All right, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, the market is kind of down still. There's a chart somewhere. Remember where? Yeah, the market's still down around the same exact that it was yesterday. I'm assuming we're going to hit $7,000 once again, and the market will slowly push itself back down because Bitcoin cannot go over 7,000 for some reason. But yeah, let's keep hope alive, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.